All right, everybody, welcome back. Today we're looking at Spider-Man 77. This thing, I just love the novelty of it. So I know I haven't reviewed any MCU figures, and this isn't like MCU proper or anything, but the live action display of my collection, that's like the main thing I collect is live action stuff, whether it be like MCU proper or, you know, like stuff that predates the MCU. Like, there's some Toy Biz Marvel Legends that were of movies at the time, like specifically like the Blade, movie Blade, where the head sculpts I think are still phenomenal. So those are the only time I go past my cutoff mark for Marvel Legends is stuff like that, just to have that in the collection. The articulation's never good with those old ball-jointed hips, but I'm more worried about presentation than articulation. That's just me, detail and stuff over articulation. But yeah, so this is just, if it's live action, I need it. And this was a live action version of Spider-Man. Obviously, I was not born in the 70s. Man, what's the name of this actor? Oh, I just had it in my head. I forgot it. I've never seen this. There was a show, and then there was a movie, maybe a couple movies. I'm not sure. But this was kind of, I don't know if it was run at the same time, but obviously we know there's the Japanese Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Toei Spider-Man, whatever you want to call it. They came out with that one first, oddly enough, and I loved that one. I don't have it anymore, but I do wish to track it down again. And but now we got this one, and it's essentially the same thing. The main difference is the head sculpt and these belts and wrist thing there. Even the Toei one did have the same kind of accessories. I think everything else, if I remember correctly, that older Toei one was on the Mr. Fantastic body where the arms came off easy. I might be wrong. But I can't get these arms to pop off. And those Mr. Fantastic arms are usually easy to pop off. So I don't know if that's different or whatever's going on there. But for the most part, I love this because this is probably the most perfect use of reuse that I've ever seen, because it's essentially the same suit. So I don't know if, shout out to Godzilla Mendoza, who did a real awesome deep dive into not just this suit, but the Toei suit and all suits around that era. And basically, he comes to the conclusion that at the time, if you were to, you know, get the license for Spider-Man to appear through Marvel or do a show, they were basically using the same suit. It's been a while since I've seen the video, but it's the exact same suit in real life. And this is the exact same suit from the Toei Spider-Man, as far as I can tell. I don't have it on hand to compare and contrast, but in real life, the only difference is the belt accessory and the wrist accessory. Even though Toei Spider-Man has the same thing going on, it's a different one. But the main thing in real life in this figure is the head sculpt. So I just think it's kind of funny that the same principle in real life with the suit kind of applies to the toy version. So there's that. So I'm going to do accessories first. So he comes with, again, I'll get to a point where I'm opening these out of package. He comes with 2 fists. However, I'm discovering now I grabbed a completely different fist. This isn't the exact same one. This one might actually belong to Battle Damage Spider-Man, but this is not the same wrist or same fist. Let's see, the red matches more so with this one. So this one's wrong, but there is another one of this, just reversed, obviously. So there's that. He also comes with, I think these are such useless accessories, and we've seen them many, many times, as these web splatters. You got a bigger one, and you got a smaller one. I think they're useless. I have never found a real use to these. The only time I found a use of a web effect was, I believe it came with either the first PlayStation Spider-Man or the second one, but there was a much smaller web effect that wrapped around, and you could put it on people's face, like they just got webbed in the face. Or there was one that kind of actually went around the torso too. Those ones were decent. But these ones I just think are kind of lame. Also, they're like just white as opposed to the normal clear that we get, which is fine because in the show, mind you, this was the 70s, his webs was just a rope. And I'm pretty sure that was the same for the Toei Spider-Man too. Now, the Toei Spider-Man came with this, I believe. And it's just that, you know, that... I'm trying to remember if that one was white as well, because usually these are clear like this one. And it's just, I find this to be useless too. It's like every single like homemade version of this is made to be implemented in the figure much better than the actual, you know, thing from Hasbro. I don't like this. I bring that up because this one did not come with this. It came with a literal string, a white string about yay long, and I'm upset because it is not in my accessory box. I have no idea where that went, and it's kind of lame because even though it's just a string, it's one of my favorite accessories they've ever done. So that's lame. I can't find it, but I figured I'd bring this up. Because if you were to get two of these, you could get another string and give that to the Toei one. And yeah, now this was a Walmart exclusive, I believe. And I remember if you pre-order it initially, I'm pretty sure they canceled the initial pre-order. Not sure what happened there, but then they came back, yada, yada, yada. And my Walmart, there's two Walmarts around me. They are stacked to the end of the peg, multiple pegs with this guy. Obviously, this is kind of a niche audience, but it's still Spider-Man. But my point is, you don't always find Walmart exclusives. It's very rare that I find Walmart exclusives in the store. This one just happens to be easily findable, I guess. So I'm going to go over paint apps first. And so let's see. It's mostly, yeah, it's casted in the blue plastic. And there's some parts that are casted in red, but it's mostly red painted over blue. And, you know, the blue looks fine. The back of the spider looks fine. Web lines are all pretty clean. I got some stuff to say about the boot area because it's kind of weird. Emblem there looks fine. You got nice silver on the eyes there. Also, this is just such an iconic look. Just almost the pure circular eyes. Still keeps that black around it, but it's always stuck out to me. Also, the neck. You might see people complain about the neck, the way the lines don't actually add up there. I can't remember if it's made to mimic the way the actual masks on the real life meets the real life suit, but I can say that the actual suit, it does not connect there. That's just how it is. That's how the pattern is on the actual fabric suit. And then right here, I don't think this is as intentional as the neck, but this little part here that dips down on the blue, it's not exactly straight. I don't think that is intentional. I think they may have missed the mark there a bit. But, you know, once you get the belt there, you kind of, I guess you can kind of tell. I don't know, but it's, you know, it's fine. The only customization I did to this was go over the silver of the belt, the eyes, and the wrist thing. Because the silver on the eyes was actually not too bad out the box. But this stuff was kind of swirly, twirly, gray plastic that looked not good. I kind of want to go in between the lines with the darker gunmetal gray. And probably over the belt there to bring out the sculpt there. Because it's kind of like, it's kind of like a mini Spider-Man face right there. But this is a separate overlay piece that does button right there. So you can take it off. And this is a separate piece too. If you take off the wrist, it can come off. So you can just have a normal looking Spider-Man, which I think maybe he had at some point. I'm not sure, but if you Google images of this guy, he's going to look like this for most of them. But it's pretty cool because, like, it's like a vintage photo, obviously, because it's much older, taken in the 70s. But it's also actually the guy in the suit on the rooftops of New York. So it just looks super authentic, some of these, I guess, on-set photos. But yeah, not a whole lot of, I mean, you got the reds, you got the blues, you got a bit of silver there, and you got a little, some black running through. So that's basically it for that. Sculpt work is, again, this is a fairly average looking body. You got some slight wrinkles and musculature in the legs. Slight wrinkle in, sorry, butt crack there. Some musculature there. Arms are pretty plain Jane looking. Pretty plain Jane looking here. And then pretty plain Jane up here. I don't know if I'm seeing, I think I see some slight wrinklage as if it's folding over an actual face. This is long before the days of, you know, basically in your contract as a superhero or an actor playing a superhero where you had to get jacked. You know, this is just kind of a normal guy, which is fine. It's Spider-Man. I think as long as he fills out the suit nicely, it's fine. Like, Spider-Man is jacked, but, you know, if it's, this is the 70s we're talking about, so that's cool. What else was I going to say? This kind of gives me hope for other older live-action things, like, well, one, I think it's weird that they did the Toei Spider-Man before this one. I think that was kind of strange, but whatever. But it gives me hope for stuff like the old Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno, stuff like that, characters that appeared way back when, you know, throughout the 70s up until the late 80s, stuff like that. Like a, you know, I think it was David Hasselhoff, right? Was it Hasselhoff that played Nick Fury at some point? Just really old stuff like that. Even like the really old cheesy Captain America where he had the rubber ears, stuff like that. But sometimes I'm not sure though, because this one's pretty easy. On the back of the box it said it was inspired by that show. So I don't know how rights work, yada yada yada. But my main thing is I bring that up because this is a masked head sculpt. They don't have to get the actor's likeness. I don't think this actor is alive anymore. So, you know, if they wanted to get his likeness, they have to go through a state, all the legal mumbo jumbo. But when it's masked like this, they can just, you know, say it's inspired by that, get the sculpt down perfectly, and boom, there you go. Whereas like something like the Incredible Hulk, obviously there's Bill Baxby. Is that his name? Who played Bruce or David Banner? Bill Bixby. I'm not that old, sorry. I'm old, but I'm not that old. I don't think they would do one of him, but they would definitely, if they were ever going to do one from there, it'd be the Incredible Hulk. But at that point, even though there's a lot of prosthetic makeup and yada yada, it's still obviously Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, and you'd have to get likeness rights to Lou Ferrigno. So I'm gonna not get my hopes up too much, because like I said, this is masked head sculpt, so they don't have to worry about it. But anyway, I'm rambling about legalese too much, so let's go over the articulation. The head is on a disc hinge, which I love. You're not getting a whole lot of tilt, but you get very decent down and you get decent up. But I will say it's one of those head sculpts where it kind of sneaks off the peg if you push it it feels like it can go more, and then it pops off, which, you know, it's easy enough to put back on, it doesn't matter. And then coming down to the torso, you got a hinge at the mid-torso there that goes forward that much and back that much. And then there is a waist swivel there, which you can probably get to hide it with the belt if you wanted to push it down a little bit more. It does like to ride up. And then the arms. Now, there is no butterfly joints on this guy. And while I still think this would be a better figure for it, at the same time, the way the Spider-Man was portrayed obviously was super limited. Like, he wasn't like doing some of the crazy stuff you would imagine Spider-Man to do now. So I kind of don't need him to be able to break his spine to hit a cool pose. But at the same time, I do think it would be nice to have it. I think it's always better to have butterfly joints if it makes sense for the sculpt and the design. But as this one stands, it does not have it. Shoulder goes all the way around. It can go up slightly past 90. Double jointed pinless elbows that go, you know, that's pretty good. Got a random black paint smudge right there. So It's not from me. And then waist. Oh, there's some wrinkles at the end of the arm there. All the way around, hinge up, hinge down. And that's the same for the other side, but this one has that weird accessory. I'm assuming this is his web shooter. And if I had the string, you could just kind of stick it underneath there so it's like coming out. You could probably like loop it through a finger or two. But I lost it somehow, which is super lame. Ball coming out to the hip, can go backwards a little bit, can go forward about 90, which it's funny, I'd say this isn't the most bendable one, but I'm pretty sure that's better than the new Spider-Man 2099, which is funny. Also, I know this guy's been out for a while, and I know I said I'd do stuff on pegs currently. This guy's still on the peg, so it's relevant. People will still see it, and if you're curious, that's what this review is for. Goes out sideways, not quite 90. That always bugs me. I always feel like they could definitely get this to go up higher. Upper thigh cut, swivels, double jointed pinless knee. Some nice sculpt work, wrinkle-wise on the knee there. That's perfect. I mean, can you ask for anything better? That's fine with me. I do see a paint smudge, some red on the blue there. Now we get to the boots. I got some stuff to say about the boots. It's nothing huge, but it's just strange to me. So first off, the first offense is there's no boot swivel. This is where I think they're skipping out. It's perfectly right at the spot where it would need to be. And they have the sculpt. Like, they could, I'm sure there's plenty of sculpts where the legs would have worked with this design. With the, you know, if they wanted to have a piece that where they didn't have to separate this specific leg. I don't know. It's just, give us the boot swivel, man. And then it comes down to, you got a forward facing pin for rocker, which is fine. That works fine. It goes back super far back. That's fine with me. It goes forward as far as I could ask for. But it gets weird with the tones of reds. So if I don't know if you're gonna pick this up on camera. Yeah, I guess you can kind of see it. There's 3 different reds going on here, potentially 4. So I'll start from the bottom here. The foot itself is a darker red than everything else here. You know, which, you know, different plastic, sure, whatever. And then the hinge is actually a separate red color as well from either this or that. But that's kind of a small thing. But then obviously you get the red here, and it's lighter than this. And then this is the strangest part to me. Right here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. It's kind of weird. This might not be as apparent on camera, but basically right here, kind of where that line misses actually, there is a much brighter red on both boots. It goes all the way around the top of the shin there. I really wish, okay, you can kind of see it right there. See where the red goes right here? It looks like, it looks intentional the way it's implemented on both sides all the way around. And I thought maybe this was a design choice from the suit. And when I looked up pictures of the suit, it is a different red. The boots, they're like actual boots in the show, and it is a much darker leathery red than the rest of the suit. But it's not like 3-tone like it is here. So I don't know what happened here. It looks like I said, it looks intentional, but on both sides it goes all the way around. It looks like it got an extra go with paint. And I don't know if all copies are like this, but you go past this line and it looks like maybe there's some more blue underneath there. Like, you don't see any blue, but obviously like the way hues and whatever work, it just kind of looks like the rest of the boot didn't get that extra go with the red, because this is molded. This bottom part here is molded in the blue. It's got a red hinge and a red molded in red hinge, molded in red foot here, but this leg section here is molded in blue. So this stuff is painted. I just don't know. I find that to be super strange. Super, I mean, tiny thing. Kind of can't see it from here. I feel like you can still tell that the feet are darker, but I don't know. It's just strange to me. So, yeah. would I recommend this guy? I'm gonna say yes, and I can't wait to get my hands back on the Toei one to have these two side by side. I just think this is, when it comes to Spider-Man, obviously super iconic character, but his run in the 70s, this is a huge part of the character's history. You know what I mean? I've never seen any part of this incarnation. I don't think I would enjoy it, to be honest. I feel like it would probably be outdated, but I would watch it for legacy's sake, you know what I mean? So I would recommend this. This is, oddly enough, one of my favorite live action figures, even though it's super simple. You could pass this off as a comic book Spider-Man if you really wanted to. But like I said, he's going into my live action section, which is relatively small at the moment, but we're getting there. Final thoughts. I mean, it's cool. Super simple figure, fun to move around. Just, you know, like I said, the novelty of this guy even existing, I really appreciate. So, I don't think anyone, obviously, if you weren't born in the 70s, anyone younger than that, would they care about this? I don't know, or would they just see Spider-Man be hyped regardless? I don't know. Obviously, this line is meant for more adult collectors anyway, so I would recommend it. I think it's an awesome Spider-Man. You know, the novelty of it's awesome. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I can't wait to get my hands back on the Toei Spider-Man. Go get this one. Seriously. Packaging super awesome. I don't have that, but yeah. Go get it. I recommend this one. Plus, it's a Spider-Man. You always can never have too many Spider-Man. So, thanks again for clicking. I've gotten a lot of more interaction here on YouTube the past couple days, which is awesome. Some engagement happening. I've talked to some people. That's awesome. My shorts are blowing up, which is crazy, but that's the shorts. I feel like does 2.6K on a short matter? I don't know. It seems like it doesn't, because it's not like the channel blew up or anything, which I'm not expecting it to, but that's basically, yeah. So anyway, like I said, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment down below what you think of this guy, and let me know what's your favorite incarnation of live action Spider-Man. Have you seen this show or movie? Have you seen the Japanese one? Let me know. Any conversation going on in the comments, I would love to chime in on. And that's going to do it. I will see you on the next one. I'm going to, for the third time, get to these guys. So, stay tuned for that. Thank you again. Peace out.